Have you ever wondered why some public speakers really captivate you and you remember them so clearly, but others are just quickly forgotten? Well, you know what? It's how they start their talk that really helps to make them captivating. Welcome to Vocal Power, Public Speaking Made Easy. If you're sick of feeling judged or worried about being unworthy, or if you struggle to organize your thoughts and stay on topic, or maybe you doubt yourself when you have to speak in public, or get anxiety when you talk to groups or meetings, then this will help to make an immediate change for you. This training is going to help you become more confident and interesting as a speaker. And the very first step to getting people to really listen to you is to make the start of your talk really powerful. To start strong as a speaker, there are three key elements. First one is to avoid common mistakes. And I have found that there are 10 things that can quickly hurt your confidence and your credibility as a speaker. The second thing is relevance, making it clear at the start of the top why the topic actually matters to your audience. And number three, sparking curiosity, starting your talk in a way that makes the audience want to hear more. Now, I cover how to do each of these step by step in 3 separate videos. Today we're covering number 3, how to spark curiosity. You might not know this, but I used to go to crazy lengths to avoid public speaking. It's hard to imagine now, but public speaking fear controlled me for over 10 years. That's a whole decade. My name is Danielle Drew, and now I am a confident public speaker. But I call myself a former speechless speaker because I used to be so terrified of talking in public. And because I know how limiting and stressful that fear can be, I now help other people to become confident public speakers. And tweaking how you start your talk is a quick way to improve. So let's look at some ways to create curiosity when you start your talk. Number 1, start with a bold statement. Say something unexpected or provocative to spark curiosity. For example, most people fear public speaking more than death. So technically, right now, I'm braver than a skydiver. Number 2, ask a thought-provoking question. Get your audience thinking and mentally engaged with you right from the beginning. For example, just like I did. Have you ever wondered why some speakers captivate while others are quickly forgotten? Number 3, tell a captivating story. Humans love stories. We are genetically hardwired to want to listen to stories. So share a personal experience or some kind of relatable anecdote with your audience. For example, 5 years ago, I stood frozen on stage, completely blank. Here's what changed everything for me. Number 4, use a shocking statistic. Numbers really make an impact and they add so much credibility to your talk as well. So, for example, you could say something like, research shows that poor public speaking skills can cost people up to 10% of their annual salary in lost growth opportunities. How much is 10% of your annual salary? What's it costing you? Number 5, make them laugh. A well-placed joke or a light-hearted comment can build instant rapport with your audience. Now, here is the important part. You must always make the joke about you, not about anybody else. For example, you know you've nailed public speaking when people clap because they're impressed, not because you've finished. Number 6, use a powerful quote. Set the tone with words from somebody famous or historically important and interesting. For example, courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it from Nelson Mandela. I often start my talks with powerful quotes. Number 7, engage with an activity. Get the audience to participate immediately. Now, this is probably a more experienced technique. You can go ahead and try it if you've got a group of people you know pretty well. Other than that, just put some practice into the others before you use this one. But you could say something like, raise your hand if you've ever felt nervous about speaking in public. And if you put your hand up when you say that, other people are likely to put their hand up as well. And you can say, great, you're in the right place. Number 8, use some kind of prop or visual aid. Show something intriguing that ties into your message. For example, you could hold up a pair of tangled headphones and say, this is what your brain looks like when you're unprepared for a speech. You could hold up an hourglass, for example, and say, this is your audience's attention span. So let's make every grain of sand count. Number 9, create suspense. Use mystery to keep people hooked. For example, there is one mistake that almost everybody makes when speaking in public, and it's likely to be the real reason why they're not connecting with their audience. I'm going to share with you what that is in just a moment. And number 10, flip the script. Say something that challenges very common beliefs. For example, people say you need to be fearless to succeed at public speaking. But you know what? That is not true. Fear is actually your greatest asset. And we've flipped that belief. Another thing you can do is make a contradiction. Say something that surprises your audience. For example, the best speakers are not the ones who talk the most. They're actually the ones who listen the best. See how that sounds really contradictory? Another one is start in the middle of the action. It's called a dramatic drop-in. You drop them right into the middle of a dramatic moment. And this is often the way that TV series start. For example, I was standing backstage, heart racing, palms sweating, and I was completely unprepared for what was about to happen. Imagine listening to a speech where someone started like that. You're like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? Tell me more. I'm confused. What's going on? Next technique is the power of silence. A strategic pause before you speak can really grab attention. Imagine walking onto a stage, you scan the room, you pause, and you wait, saying nothing. Then you start with a powerful line. It's interesting, this one. I was doing a presentation on the power of body language to a corporate group, and I walked out and I stood in front of the group and I counted to 10 in my head without saying a word. And then I said, every person in this room has just judged me and decided whether or not to listen to me before I even said a word. That's the power of the dramatic pause right there in action. Another technique is to tell a personal failure story. Show vulnerability to create connection. For example, I once gave a presentation that was so bad that my boss actually fell asleep. Here's what I learnt from that moment. Next technique is to make a daring promise. Set expectations high and make your audience curious. For example, by the end of this talk, you're going to have a simple formula to start any speech with confidence, guaranteed. It's a very daring promise, right? just like there. Next technique is to describe a relatable emotion. Make your audience feel seen. For example, you know that feeling when you're about to speak and suddenly your entire mind goes blank? You know what I mean? Yeah, let's fix that today, okay? That helps people feel like you really understand where they are in their speaking journey or in the journey relevant to your topic. This is a great one. Start with a one-word sentence because this creates instant intrigue with just a single word. For example, fear. It's the number one thing holding people back from powerful public speaking. That is a very powerful technique and it's one of my favorites. Use a what if statement to get your audience imagining a new possibility. For example, what if I told you that one small change in your voice could make people see you suddenly as a leader? What if is a great technique as well. Now, we've just covered 18 ways to create curiosity when you start your talk. So I invite you again, don't try and do all 18, just choose one that you kind of really like. There's a few in there I said were my favorites. Choose one that you found the most appealing and practice it. Then when you have that one nailed and you're comfortable, if you want to, you can choose another. But I honestly personally use 2 or 3. I don't use all 18. So you find your favorites and stick with them. But there is enough variety there for you to find one that you really like. So that's how to spark curiosity at the start of your talk and get your audience's attention. Don't forget to check out the other 2 videos and the resources in this mini course. My name is Danielle Drew and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.